Good evening, students. I will go on to the next topic of our Python programming classes. Okay, our next topic is the functions. Okay, functions are the modular programming unit. Okay, which can use to refer the any frequent coding. Okay, that we can write in the functions. Okay, these functions are generally used whenever you are required to write the different modules, or if you are required to perform the different tasks. Then you can split the tasks using the functions. So each task is placed in a one function. Okay, so that you will be clear to observe the coding, and you are clear to observe the errors. And whenever you are understanding the program, it will be very easy to understand the program. Okay, so for that we'll use the functions. So as in the same way of other programming languages, Python also supports the functional programming and modular programming using the functions. So using the functions, we can develop the modular programming concept of the programming languages. Okay, just we'll start with the functions. Okay, here the function is nothing but a block of the code. Okay, whatever the code which we want to repeat more than once, okay, that block of the code we will place within the function, and we'll give you one name to the function. So using that name of the function, we can refer to that particular block of the code. Okay, this function name must be unique in that particular session or in that particular block of the program. Okay, in a particular block of the program, we should not repeat the same name of the function for any another functions or variables. Okay, then only the function is uniquely identified by the compiler of the programming language. Okay, once the function is written, we can use for n number of times. There is no restriction to use the function. We can whatever the number of times you required the function, you can use the function just by using the function name and the required input to the function. We can use the function for more than once. Okay, and the basic advantage of the functions are it's easy to trace the errors in the function, and it is easy to reduce the length of the program. Okay, wherever the code is repeated, those there you can use the function, so that automatically it reduces the coding. Okay, whenever you require the 30 lines of a code, if you are placed that repeated code in a particular function, it reduces the length of the program to the one time the code of the length. Okay, so that we can reduce the program length. Automatically it reduces the compilation time, and also it reduces the execution time of the program. Okay, and whenever you require to modify the any function, okay, without disturbing the any another functions, you can modify the function. Okay, say for example, if you are developing a calculator program, and you have the add function to addition of the two numbers, and subtract function to subtract the two numbers, and multiply function to multiply the two numbers. Say if you want to do the any additions to the program, any additions to the addition of two numbers program, then you can just go to that particular function. You can do the additions. Okay, it doesn't disturbs, or it doesn't changes the another two functions. So that modification of the program is also very easy with the functions. Okay, so here we have the two types of functions. Some functions are called as the built-in functions, which are already provided by the Python programming language, and which we are using within the program without writing the function. Okay, the most frequently used blocks or most frequently used functionality is provided as the built-in functions of the language. And whatever the functions which are required by a particular user, okay, those can be written as the user-defined functions. Okay, the functions which are written by the user for their own purposes are the user-defined functions. Okay. Next, we'll see what is the difference between a function and a method. Okay, say for example, generally we'll call the function and also method is a similar. Okay, but generally like a synonyms of the function as a method. Okay, but there is a difference is whenever you are writing a function within a class, okay, that is class is a object oriented programming unit. Okay, within that class, if you are writing any function, that can be called as a method. Say if you are writing a function outside the class or not related to any class, okay, then that is called as a function. Okay, generally whenever you are using some functions of the data structures like list functions or data dictionary functions, those okay will be called as say for example d1 is the dictionary, d1 dot keys. Okay, that is d1 is a class and keys is a method within that particular class. So as in the same way we'll use a length function len of d1. Okay, here we are not using d1 dot len, we are using as len of d1. Okay, that is here the len is a function which is not belongs to any of the class. Okay, so that len is a function and d1 dot keys, the keys is a method of the dictionary class. So that is the difference between these two. A function can be called without any using variable, and method is called with the particular object name or class name of that particular method, that is in which the method is available. Okay. Next we'll see how to define a function and how to write the code in the function. Okay, to define a function, the Python provides a keyword as the def. Okay, we'll use the keyword def and followed by the function name, the required function name, and then the parenthesis. Okay, if is there any parameters or input values to the function, then we can mention them within the parenthesis. Otherwise, we can give the blank parenthesis. Okay, so after this statement, I will place the colon, and that is for the indentation of the code. Okay, then we can write the required functional block. That is whatever the code you want to place within the function, that you can write after the colon. Okay. Syntax of the function is def is a keyword, function name is a unique name and which cannot be repeated in the program. Uh, and this has the similar restrictions of the variables, like it should be started with the alphabet and it can contain the numbers, alphabets and underscore symbol, and it should be unique and it should have the some length of the name based on the compiler supported by the language. Okay, and it should not be a keyword. Okay, we cannot use any keyword as a function name. Okay, so similar restrictions are same as your variable names. And then parameters, here we'll just give the names of the parameters whatever holds the values which are passed to the function. Then colon operator which starts the function, and after the colon operator we'll come to the next line, there we will write the code. Okay, here we need to give the one tab space for the indentation. Okay, this is the comment. Okay, if you want to place any comments, you can write some comments in the beginning of the function or in the middle of the functions also. And then we'll write some lines of the code which are required to be performed in the function, and then return your required value for the function. Okay, this return statement is the optional. Okay, if you have any value to be returned from the function, then you can write the return statement. Otherwise, you can leave it as optional statement. Okay. Okay, this is the syntax of the function. Next. Okay, this is an example for the function def, addition of two numbers. So add is the function name. Okay, I want to add the two numbers. The two numbers are placed within the two variables a and b, colon operator, and here it is a c equals to a plus b is the code within the function which performs the addition of the a and b, and print the value, that is the addition value, print c, the output of the addition. And this return statement is actually optional, we may leave it as a without writing also. Okay, this is the example of the some simple function to perform the addition of two numbers. Okay, and next calling the function. Okay, initially we defined the function, now we need to call the function. This function calling is once you are defined the function, okay, you need to use the function for performing with that your required values. Okay, for that we need to call the function. Okay, this calling of function includes the function name. Okay, the name of the function with what we have defined the function name, and the input values for the parameters of the function. Say if you have given two parameters in the functions, then you need to pass the two values to the function. Okay, add is our function name, and 5 is the value for the a variable, and 12 is the value for b variable. Okay, so here we pass the two values to the add function. Okay, the expected result may be 12 plus 5, 17. Okay, okay, this is our function. Okay, and we are calling the function after the defining of a function. Whenever you have to call the function, just come out of the indentation of the function, then write the calling of the function. Okay, because if you are writing within the indentation of the function, then it doesn't may become as a calling. It will be become as a recursion. Okay, so that we need to come out of indentation of the function, then you can call the function. Okay, the expected value may be the 17. Next, returning results from a function. Okay, that is once you are calculated the values and without printing the values within the function, if you want to send that values to the outside of the function. Okay, that is you want to send that values to the outside of the function. Okay, those values can be used by the any another calculations, or for any another functions you can use that values. Okay, for that you can use the return statement and your required value to be returned back from the function. Here we are calculating addition of two numbers. The addition value is stored within the C variable, and this C variable value I want to return back. Okay, so return C. Okay, after completing of the function, you just come out of the indentation of the function and give the print statement add of 5 comma 12. Okay, here we are calling the add function with the values 5 and 12. Okay, it sends the two values and performs the addition and stores the value into C, and C is returned back. So in place of this add statement, okay, the value returned from the function is printed. That is print, the value returned is C value, that is 17. So it prints the value 17 in the output. As the same way here also 1.56. Okay, it sends the value, performs the addition, and the result is printed in place of this add function. Okay. Next. Say if you want to return the multiple values from a function. Okay, so this is not in the other languages like C, C++, and Java. Okay, whenever you want to return any multiple values from a function in the C, C++, or Java, we need to use the arrays. Otherwise, we can return only one value at a time. But here in the Python, it supports to return the multiple values using a return statement. Okay, so you can return the at a time A, B, C, three values. Okay, so whenever you are doing like this, while calling the function, you need to mention the function name and parenthesis, and then you need to assign the returned value to the number of variables that similar to the return values. If you are returning a three values from the function, you need to assign to the three variables in the while calling the function also. Then only you can store the values into the your required variables. Say for example, this is the code. Okay, you are performing addition, subtraction, and multiplication. The results are stored in the C, D, E, and you are returning all the three C, D, E variables. Here we are calling the function calculate 5, 8. It performs the 5 plus 8 is stored into the X variable. That is first returned value. That is C is returned first. That is stored into the X. Next D is returned. That is stored into the Y. Next E is returned. That is stored into the Z. So that you will get the X is the addition value, Y is the subtraction value, and Z is the multiplication value. Okay. Functions are first class objects. Okay, functions can be called as an objects because whatever the module or whatever the program you are writing within that, our function is created as a one of the object. Okay, and you can also pass this function to the another functions as a argument, or you can store the function as a variable to the another functions. Okay, or we can write a one function within the another functions. Okay, this all we can do with the treating a function as a object.